Joining us now to discuss the growing spread of the virus is risk and behavioral scientist Dr. Shraddha Chakraborty. Do you agree with Senator Tom Cotton? Is there any evidence backing his claim that the coronavirus originated at a super lab in Wuhan?
There is not a shred of evidence of that, and it's critical to remember that in times of this kind of global public panic, not to put forward unfounded theories that can cause more harm than benefit to everyone that's involved with this virus outbreak. And so we know as epidemiologists, as a science community, as academics who are on top of this virus, who are understanding its genome sequencing and therefore how it could not possibly have been made in a lab or artificially manipulated, that the reality of how this particular strain of coronavirus originated is most likely, and once we will look back and conclude for certainty, most likely it originated in animals, most likely bats, which then made the jump into humans, mutated, and then human-to-human transmission began. So that because this virus, this strain belongs to a class of coronaviruses that we have known and we have studied for a long time, it is most likely that we will confirm that this is exactly the source of how this virus began.
At the same time, a lot of people are talking about it, and some, like you've suggested, are a little bit too concerned about the virus than they really should be. In fact, new data found that the coronavirus is roughly 20 times deadlier than the flu. So is this data even relevant? Is it true, and should we be concerned?
We absolutely need to take seriously its transmission and mortality rate. And of course, it's higher than the flu in the sense that it's a new virus. The seasonal flu is something that we have gotten a grip on. We've known for a long time. We're able to diagnose it. We have vaccines for it. We have a treatment protocol in place. All of that will eventually come with the coronavirus as well. And so until that happens, the mortality rate is going to be higher than the seasonal flu. And generally across viruses that have been around for a while that we know and understand how to deal with. So that is not alarming or surprising. What's an interesting difference from the seasonal flu is that this coronavirus seemingly is not attacking children in the same way. It tends to really be more towards older populations, those that have compromised immune systems, those that are more vulnerable because of underlying disease states, and the number of people that have died are primarily over the age of 60. So let's keep that distinction in mind, and let's also remember that there is a seasonal difference as well. We understand that the seasonal flu, has a time period that it prefers. It prefers colder winter months, and that's because perhaps people are indoors more, they're interacting more. We don't know if that's true yet for this coronavirus. The reason for that is it's emerging, it might persist, and might go away and then come back again. So it's really critical that we pay attention and we observe how this virus moves through populations, moves through communities, so we can better track and then design the way we handle and deal with it going forward.
At the same time, we've now seen a lot of quarantines take place, specifically on cruise ships. I want to bring up the Diamond Princess cruise ship, where passengers have been quarantined for days and weeks. What's a good timeline for people to be kept on a ship, which could potentially be, a center for this virus to spread?
So the U.S., the CDC, the World Health Organization is overly cautious, and despite that, says that some of these quarantines and measures are too severe. So 2 weeks is cautious. It's the time that the virus might be there without showing any symptoms. But then to restart that process again and delay the quarantines and the amount of time these people are put in a situation where the virus, despite all the best measures to protect people from one another, might still be spreading. Remember, there's still staff on these cruise ships that are not having the same measure of protection. And so they are conduits potentially of the virus. And then those transmissions that happen, we'll most likely see happen before the measures went into place. But ultimately, if people are not showing symptoms, if people are able to be removed from that environment because they are not testing positive for the virus, they should be. And so the U.S. bringing home 300 passengers was the right thing to do. Now, 14 of them yesterday did come positive to have the coronavirus, and the measures that the U.S. has put in place, again, are conservative, but are erring on the side of caution, and that's perfectly fine what they are doing. The U.S. is getting it right.
Okay, very helpful to separate fact from fiction there. She's risk and behavioral scientist Dr. Shraddha Chakraborty. Thanks for joining us.